Whoa, hold everything, because what just exploded on the reunion stage of season 13 is about to blow up your entire timeline. Picture this. The lights are blazing, the cast is dressed to kill, and the energy in the room is already crackling with weeks of built-up shade, side eyes, and secret text messages. Cameras rolling, mics hot, and then the host drops the one question everyone's been dying to ask. The room freezes. Yandy's gripping her chair like it's the only thing keeping her from lunging. Tamar Braxton sits there with that signature smirk, legs crossed, daring anyone to try her. And Mendeecees? He leans forward, looks dead into the camera, and with zero hesitation says the words that stopped time itself. Yes, I fooked Tamar, bitch. Dead. Silence. You could hear a designer earring hit the floor. Jaws dropped. Phones flew out of pockets. Producers in the back literally gasped out loud. Yandy shot up so fast her mic pack nearly ripped off. Tamar's eyes went wide for half a second before she threw her head back and laughed, that wild, unapologetic Tamar laugh that either means, gotcha, or, war. The rest of the cast? Speechless. Some covering their mouths, others already whispering, oh my god, like they're in church. This isn't just another rumor. This is Mendeecees Harris, the man who built an empire beside Yandy, the father, the smooth-talking king of the group, publicly admitting he slept with Tamar Braxton. On camera, in front of everybody. And baby, the way he said it? No shame, no stutter, just straight, cold, unfiltered truth. Fans are already losing their minds in the comments, screens are flooding with fire emojis and broken hearts, and this is only the first 5 minutes of the episode. What the hell happened behind closed doors? When did this even go down? Was it one reckless night or a full-blown secret affair? And most importantly, how is Yandy still sitting in that chair without snatching wigs? You think you've seen reality TV drama before? Think again, because season 13 just went nuclear, and we're only getting started. The silence after Mendeecees dropped that bomb lasted maybe 5 seconds, but it felt like 5 years. Then chaos. Pure unfiltered chaos. Yandy stood up so fast her chair flipped backward and crashed against the stage wall. Her eyes were wide open like she'd just seen a ghost wearing her husband's face. What the hell did you just say? She screamed, voice cracking on the last word. The mic picked up every tremble. Mendeecees didn't flinch. He just leaned back, arms crossed, that same calm smirk he always wears when he knows he's holding all the cards. You heard me, he said slow and deliberate. Yes, I fooked Tamar. And I'd do it again if she let me. Tamar's laugh cut through the air like a knife. She threw her head back, one hand on her chest like she was about to have a dramatic faint, but her eyes were sparkling with something dangerous. Oh honey, you bold now, huh? She said, turning to face him fully. You gon' sit here in front of your wife and say that? On national television? Baby, you wild. But the way she said it wasn't shock. It was almost proud, like she was impressed he finally grew a pair. The rest of the cast was frozen in different stages of horror. Scrappy was shaking his head slow like he couldn't believe what he was hearing. Nah, this ain't real, he muttered under his breath. Erica Mina's mouth was hanging open so wide you could see her tonsils. She kept looking from Mendeecees to Yandy to Tamar like she was waiting for someone to yell cut and say it was all a prank. But nobody yelled cut. The cameras kept rolling. Producers in the back were scrambling, whispering furiously into headsets, but they didn't stop it. This was gold. This was season-defining gold. Yandy finally found her legs again. She took 2 steps toward Mendeecees, finger pointed straight at his chest. You been lying to me for how long? How long, Mendeecees? Was it before we got married? After? During that time you said you was handling business in Atlanta? Her voice broke on the word Atlanta. Everyone knew what Atlanta meant. That was Tamar's city. That was where Tamar filmed her solo specials, where she threw those legendary parties, where rumors first started swirling 2 years ago but everybody brushed them off because Yandy and Mendeecees were supposed to be unbreakable. Mendeecees looked up at her, no remorse in his eyes. It was one time, he said. Just one night. We was both drunk. It happened. I ain't gon' sit here and act like it didn't. One time. The words hung there like smoke. Yandy laughed, but it was the kind of laugh that comes right before tears. One time? You think saying one time makes this better? You think that erases everything we built? Our kids, Mendeecees. Our family. You just blew it all up for what? A quick fuck with Tamar? Tamar jumped in quick. Hold up. Don't put this all on him like I forced him. We both grown. We both wanted it. And let's be real, Yandy, you been acting like Miss Perfect for years while everybody else was living real life. The room sucked in a collective breath. Tamar just went there. She just called Yandy out in front of everybody. Yandy spun on her heel so fast her weave swung like a weapon. Excuse me? You don't get to talk about my life. You the one who been chasing clout since you left the Braxtons. You the one who always gotta be the center of attention. Now you sleeping with my husband to stay relevant? Tamar stood up now too. Two queens facing off, heels clicking on the stage floor. Relevant? Girl please, I don't need your man to stay relevant. I've been booking my own tours, my own deals, my own everything while you out here playing CEO wife. Maybe if you paid more attention to your man instead of your Instagram likes he wouldn't have come looking for me. The audience gasped so loud the sound guy had to turn down the levels. Fans watching live were flooding the chat with all caps. Tamar said what? Yandy gone whoop her ass, this is better than any movie. Mendeecees tried to step in. Y'all chill, this ain't about y'all fighting. But nobody was listening to him anymore. Yandy was in Tamar's face now, close enough that their noses almost touched. You think you cute don't you? Coming for my family like it's nothing. I've been holding this man down since day one. Through prison, through the feds, through everything. And you just slide in like it's open season? Tamar didn't back down an inch. Maybe if you held him down better he wouldn't have needed to slide anywhere. Men don't cheat when they happy baby. That's facts. That one hit Yandy like a slap. Her eyes filled with tears but she refused to let them fall. She turned back to Mendeecees. Is that true? You wasn't happy? After everything we went through you tell me you wasn't happy? For the first time Mendeecees looked uncomfortable. He rubbed his hand over his face like he was tired of the whole scene. I love you Yandy, always have, but yeah, things got complicated. We was arguing all the time. You was always working, I was always alone. Tamar was there, she listened, one thing led to another. The betrayal hung heavy. Yandy staggered back like someone punched her in the stomach. So you punish me by sleeping with her? That's your solution? She looked around at the cast, desperate for someone to take her side. But nobody moved. Scrappy finally spoke up. Yo this messed up on every level. Mendeecees you wrong for that. Straight up. Erica nodded. And Tamar, girl why? You knew they was married. You knew they had kids. Why even go there? Tamar rolled her eyes. Because I'm tired of everybody acting like Yandy the only one who can have a man. I'm tired of the double standards. He came on to me first. I didn't chase him. He chased me. Mendeecees didn't deny it, he just sat there silent. The host tried to regain control. Okay let's take a breath. This is a lot. Mendeecees you're saying it was one night. Tamar you're saying he pursued you. Yandy, how are you feeling right now? Yandy wiped her face with the back of her hand. How do you think I feel? Humiliated, betrayed, stupid. I trusted him, I trusted her, I invited her into my home. We laughed together, we prayed together, and this whole time, her voice trailed off. She couldn't finish the sentence. The cameras zoomed in tight on her face. Tears finally spilled over. Not dramatic fake tears, real ones. The kind that make your chest hurt to watch. The audience went quiet. Even the live chat slowed down for a second. Everybody felt it. This wasn't just tea anymore. This was pain. Real pain. Then Tamar did something nobody expected. She walked over to Yandy. Not aggressive. Slow. Almost gentle. Yandy listen, she said soft. I'm not sorry it happened. But I am sorry you hurting like this. I never wanted to break up a family. Yandy looked at her like she was crazy. You say that now? After you just admitted it on TV? Tamar shrugged. I'm keeping it real. That's all I know how to do. She reached out like she was gonna touch Yandy's arm but Yandy jerked back. Don't touch me. Tamar dropped her hand. Okay, I won't. But know this, it wasn't about you. It was about me and him in that moment. Nothing more. Mendeecees stood up now. Yandy we need to talk. Not here, not with cameras, just us. Yandy laughed bitter. Now you wanna talk private? After you aired our whole marriage on national television? No, you said what you said. Live with it. The host jumped in again. We're gonna take a quick break but when we come back, we got receipts. Text messages, photos, everything. Stay tuned. The screen faded to black but the tension didn't fade. It only got thicker. Fans were already screenshotting every frame. Twitter was on fire. Blogs were updating in real time. Mendeecees confesses affair with Tamar Braxton on Love and Hip Hop Reunion was trending #1 worldwide. People picking sides. Team Yandy, Team Tamar, Team Mendeecees somehow. Memes started dropping within minutes. One had Mendeecees' face photoshopped on a bomb with the caption, "When you drop the nuke on your own marriage." Backstage during the break Yandy disappeared into her dressing room. Nobody saw her for 20 minutes. When she came out her makeup was fixed but her eyes were red. She didn't speak to anybody. Just walked straight back to her seat. Mendeecees tried to approach her but security stepped in. Give her space, man, one said low. Mendeecees backed off, but his face said he wasn't done talking. Tamar, on the other hand, was in her dressing room laughing on the phone. Girl, yes, he said it. Right in front of everybody. I couldn't make this up if I tried. Whoever was on the other end must have asked if she was okay because she laughed again. I'm good. Better than good. Let the chips fall where they may. When the cameras rolled again, the energy was different. Heavier. Everybody knew the real fireworks were coming. The host held up a folder. All right, we got proof. Let's see what really happened. The lights dimmed. The big screen lit up. And that's when the first text message popped up. From Mendeecees to Tamar. 2 years ago. You still thinking about that night? Because I can't stop. The audience lost it all over again. Yandy closed her eyes like she was praying for strength. Tamar just smiled small. Mendeecees looked straight ahead. No denial. No excuses. Just acceptance. And the reunion was only half over. The screen came back from commercial with that dramatic whoosh sound effect they always use, and the big monitor behind the cast lit up like a courtroom exhibit. First text popped up huge. From Mendeecees to Tamar, timestamped 2 years back during Love and Hip Hop Atlanta filming. You still thinking about that night? Because I can't stop. Hearts emoji. Fire emoji. Then another from Tamar 30 minutes later. Lol, maybe I am. What you gon' do about it? The audience erupted. Screams, oohs, somebody in the back yelled, damn. Yandy's face crumpled. She covered her mouth with both hands like she was trying to hold the scream inside. Mendeecees didn't look away from the screen. He just sat there breathing heavy, jaw tight. Tamar crossed her legs again, chin up, like she was watching somebody else's drama. The host cleared his throat. These are verified. We got phone records, timestamps, everything. Mendeecees, you want to explain these? He rubbed his temples slow. What y'all want me to say? Yeah, I sent those. Yeah, we talked after. It wasn't just one night like I said earlier. Gasp rippled through the cast again. Yandy whipped her head toward him so fast it looked painful. Excuse me? You just said one time. Now it's what? A whole conversation? A whole situationship? Her voice climbed higher with every word. Mendeecees sighed deep, like he was tired of running from it. Look, after that first night in Atlanta, we kept in touch. Texting. Late night calls sometimes. It wasn't physical again, not right away. But emotionally? Yeah, we connected. She got me in ways. I don't know. Yandy, you was always busy. Meetings, deals, the kids, the label. I felt invisible sometimes. Tamar made me feel seen. Tamar nodded slow like she was finally being understood. Exactly. I wasn't trying to take nobody's man. But when a man tells you he lonely in his own marriage, what you supposed to do? Ignore him? I listened. We talked. Things escalated a couple more times over the next year. Miami, New York, quick trips, nothing crazy, but it happened. Yandy stood up again. This time she didn't scream. She just spoke low and cold. So while I was planning our vow renewal, while I was posting our family pictures for the gram, while I was telling the world how blessed I was, you was sneaking off to Miami with her. She pointed at Tamar without looking at her. You was in hotel rooms laughing about how lonely your wife makes you feel. Mendeecees didn't answer right away. The silence stretched ugly. Then he said quiet, I'm sorry Yandy. I should have talked to you instead of running to somebody else. But the sorry sounded hollow after everything else he'd admitted. Yandy laughed once, sharp and broken. Sorry, don't fix this. Sorry, don't give me back 2 years of lies. Scrappy couldn't stay quiet anymore. He leaned forward, elbows on knees. Yo Mendeecees, real talk, you fall for this. You got kids with Yandy. Little Omare and Infinity looking up to you. And you out here playing these games? For what? Some side thing with Tamar? Come on man. Mendeecees shot him a look. You don't know what it's like in my house, Scrappy. You don't know the pressure. Yandy always on go. Always hustling. I needed somebody who could just be. No agenda. No camera. Just real. Erica Mina jumped in, voice shaking a little. But Tamar, you knew. You knew he was married. You knew they had a whole life together. Why even entertain it? You got your own platform. Your own money. Your own everything. Why go after somebody else's husband? Tamar turned to Erica slow. Because he came to me, Erica. I didn't slide in his DMs. He slid in mine. And yeah, I knew he was married. But marriage ain't a force field. If a man wanna step out, he gon' step out. I wasn't the first and I won't be the last. I'm just the one who got caught on camera. She shrugged like it was simple math. The audience booed loud. Some cheered. Split right down the middle. The host raised his hand. We got more. Let's keep going. Another screenshot. This one a photo. Grainy but clear enough. Mendeecees and Tamar in a club booth, Miami, last summer. Her hand on his thigh. His arm around her shoulders. both smiling wide like teenagers. Timestamp matched a weekend. Yandy said he was in meetings in La. Yandy stared at the photo like it was burning her retinas. That's the weekend of Infinity's birthday party. You told me your flight got delayed. You missed her cutting the cake for this? Mendeecees dropped his head. First real sign of shame. I messed up. I know I did. I hate that I hurt the kids. Yandy's tears came fast now. You hate it? Then why did? Why keep doing it? Why sit here and confess like it's nothing? She turned to the audience. Y'all see this? This is the man I built everything with. This is the father of my children. And he's sitting here admitting he cheated, multiple times, with her. She jabbed a finger toward Tamar. Tamar stood up again. Yandy, I'm not gonna keep letting you paint me as the villain. Yeah, I slept with him. Yeah, we had a connection. But he's the one who made vows to you. Not me. Point the finger where it belongs. Yandy spun on her. Oh, I am pointing. But you don't get to act innocent. You knew exactly what you was doing. You smiled in my face at every event. You hugged my kids. You commented, beautiful family, under our pictures. All while you was texting my husband naked selfies. Tamar's eyes narrowed. I never sent naked pictures. Don't lie on me. Mendeecees cut in quick. She didn't. That was me. I sent some. She sent some back. But it wasn't like that all the time. Yandy threw her hands up. Oh great. So it was tasteful cheating? Classy side chick energy? Thank you for clarifying. The host tried to steer. Okay, let's calm down. Tamar, do you regret it? Tamar thought for a second. I regret that Yandy hurting. I don't regret connecting with Mendeecees. He needed somebody. I was there. Simple. The boos got louder. Somebody threw a cup toward the stage but security caught it. Yandy sat back down heavy, like her legs gave out. I can't believe this is my life right now. I can't believe I'm sitting here listening to my husband say he needed somebody else because I was too busy providing for us. She looked at Mendeecees. You know I did everything for you. When you was locked up I held it down. When you came home I built the brand back up. And this is the thanks I get? Mendeecees leaned toward her. Yandy, I love you. I messed up bad. But I still want my family. I want to fix this. Yandy stared at him long. You want to fix it? After you humiliated me on TV? After you let the whole world know our business? How Mendeecees, how you gone fix 2 years of lies? He reached for her hand but she pulled away. Don't touch me, not right now. The rejection hit him visible. His shoulders slumped. For the first time he looked small. Then the host dropped the next bomb. We actually have Tamar on record saying something interesting. Another clip played, audio only. Tamar's voice from a phone call they somehow got. Yeah girl, he keeps saying he gon' leave her but I don't believe it. Men talk that talk when they in the moment. But he love his kids too much. The room exploded again. Yandy's head snapped up. He said he was gonna leave me? Mendeecees shook his head fast. I never said that. Not for real. I was venting. I was mad. I didn't mean it. Tamar smirked small. You said it more than once. Don't gaslight now. Yandy stood up one more time. You know what? I'm done. I'm done sitting here letting y'all dissect my marriage like it's entertainment. She started unclipping her mic. I'm not doing this. Not for ratings. Not for likes. I'm going home to my kids. The cast started protesting. Yandy, wait. Don't go. But she was already walking off stage, heels clicking hard. Mendeecees jumped up. Yandy, baby, wait. He chased after her but producers blocked him. Let her go, man. Give her space. He stood there helpless as she disappeared behind the curtain. Tamar sat back down, crossed her arms. Well, that happened. Scrappy looked at her. You really don't feel bad? Tamar met his eyes. I feel what I feel. She'll be alright. She tough. She always bounces back. The host looked into camera. We're gonna take another break. When we return, Yandy comes back. And she's bringing receipts of her own. You don't want to miss this. The screen faded again. Social media was in meltdown. Hashtags everywhere. Hashtag Mendeecees cheated trending #1. Hashtag Tamar exposed #2. Fans posting side-by-side pics of Yandy's perfect family posts versus the club photo. Blogs dropping articles every minute. Love and Hip Hop just had its most explosive reunion ever. Is Yandy and Mendeecees' marriage over for good? Backstage, Yandy was in a corner crying into a towel while her makeup artist tried to fix her face. Infinity's nanny texted her. The kids saw the live. Infinity crying asking if daddy still loves mommy. That broke her all over again. She wiped her eyes hard. Tell her mommy coming home soon. And daddy gone have a lot to explain. Meanwhile, Mendeecees paced the green room alone. Phone blowing up. His mom calling. His lawyer texting. Do not say another word on camera. But it was too late. He'd already said everything. Tamar posted a cryptic Instagram story while the break was still going. Black screen. White text. Sometimes the truth hurts more than the lie ever did. But truth sets you free. Heartbreak fire. Comments flooded in seconds. Half cursing her, half praising her for keeping it real. When the cameras came back up, the stage felt different. Colder. Yandy walked back out slow. Mascara gone. Face bare. Eyes puffy but fierce. She sat down without looking at anybody. The host spoke soft. Yandy, you came back. She nodded once. I came back because my kids deserve to see me fight for what's right. Not run away. She looked at Mendeecees. You wanna talk receipts? Let's talk. She pulled out her phone. I got messages too. From you, begging me to forgive you last year when you thought I knew something. From you promising it would never happen again. Lies. All lies. The monitor lit up with new texts. Mendeecees to Yandy, baby, I swear on our kids nothing happened. You tripping. Sent right after one of the Miami weekends. Yandy looked at him. You swore on our kids. And you still did it. Mendeecees had no words left. He just stared at the floor. The reunion wasn't over, but the marriage? That was hanging by one thin thread. And everybody watching knew it might snap any second. The lights came back up and the tension on stage was so thick you could cut it with a butter knife. Yandy sat there stone-faced, phone still in her hand like a loaded gun. Mendeecees looked smaller than he'd ever looked on camera. Tamar was the only one who seemed almost relaxed, sipping water like this was just another Tuesday. The host leaned in careful. Yandy, you said you had receipts. The floor is yours. Yandy took a slow breath, then tapped her screen. The big monitor lit up again. This time it wasn't texts from Mendeecees to Tamar. It was texts from Mendeecees to another woman. A girl named Kiki, with a heart emoji next to her name in his contacts. Messages from 6 months ago. Baby, I miss you already. When you coming back to NY? Her reply, soon daddy. You know I always come running when you call. Then a string of pictures. Intimate ones. Blurred just enough for TV but everybody knew what they were looking at. The audience lost their minds. Screams. Gasps. One girl in the front row actually stood up and yelled, no he didn't. Yandy didn't raise her voice. She just spoke calm and deadly. This was after Miami. After you swore to me nothing was going on with Tamar. You was already on to the next one. Kiki from Jersey. Met her at one of Scrappy's events. You told me she was just a friend helping with business. Business my ass. Mendeecees' face went gray. He opened his mouth but nothing came out at first. Then weak. Yandy, that was a mistake too. I was lost. I was. Yandy cut him off sharp. Lost? You wasn't lost, Mendeecees. You was hunting. You was collecting. Tamar wasn't even special. She was just one in a rotation. Tamar's smirk dropped for the first time. She sat up straight. Hold on now. Don't lump me in with side chicks. What me and him had was real. We talked every day. We connected on a level you clearly wasn't giving him. Yandy turned to her slow. Real? Girl, you was convenience. He needed ego strokes and you was right there with the oil. Don't flatter yourself. Scrappy jumped in again, voice loud. Yo, this getting out of hand. Mendeecees, you really had multiple? While Yandy holding everything down? Bro, that's low, even for you. Erica was shaking her head. I can't even look at you right now. Multiple women? Kids at home? What kind of man does that? Mendeecees finally found words. I messed up. I know I did. More than once. More than I admitted. But Yandy, you wasn't innocent either. You stayed gone. Always traveling. Always on the phone with managers and investors. I came home to an empty house too many nights. I felt like I was raising the kids alone sometimes. Yandy's eyes flashed. Don't you dare flip this on me. I was building for us. For our future. So our kids wouldn't have to struggle like we did. You think I wanted to be gone? I did it for you. For them. And you repay me by sticking your dick in every woman who smiles at you? The host tried to intervene. Let's keep it respectful, but Yandy wasn't having it. Respect? He lost the right to respect when he disrespected our vows. Our home. Our children. She turned back to the screen. And there's more. Another set of messages popped up. This time from Mendeecees to a third woman. Lexi. Club promoter in La. Messages talking about that weekend we had, and can't wait to do it again. Photos of them at a pool party. Him shirtless. Her in a bikini. Arms around each other. Tamar laughed bitter. Wow, so I was just one of many? Damn, here I thought I was special. She looked at Mendeecees. You really was out here living like that? Multiple at the same time? Mendeecees rubbed his face hard. It wasn't like that. It was complicated. I was dealing with a lot. Depression. Stress from the label. I made bad choices. Yandy stood up again. Bad choices? This ain't bad choices, Mendeecees. This a pattern. This a lifestyle. You been cheating since before we said I do. I just didn't want to see it. She looked around at the cast. Y'all knew. Some of y'all knew and didn't tell me. Scrappy, you seen him with girls at parties. You never said nothing. Scrappy looked guilty. I thought it was just talk. I didn't know it was real like that. Erica spoke soft. Yandy, I swear I didn't know about all this. I heard rumors but I thought it was just gossip. Yandy nodded slow. I believe you. But him? He sat in my face and lied for years. The host pulled up one last thing. A video clip. Grainy security footage from a hotel in New York. Mendeecees and Tamar walking into an elevator together. Hands linked. Laughing. Timestamp. Valentine's Day last year. The day Yandy posted a solo picture of herself with the caption, "Self-love is the best love," because Mendeecees had to work late. Yandy stared at the footage. Valentine's Day. You told me you was closing a deal. I cried myself to sleep that night thinking I was being insecure. Turns out I was right. She turned to Mendeecees. You know what hurts most? Not even the cheating. It's the lies. The gaslighting. Making me feel crazy for questioning you. Mendeecees stood up now. Yandy, I'm begging you. Let's go to counseling. Let's fix this. For the kids. Yandy shook her head. Counseling? After all this? No. The kids deserve better than a father who lies and cheats and humiliates their mother on TV. They deserve truth. And right now the truth is, I'm done. The room went dead quiet. Even Tamar looked shocked. Yandy continued. I filed for divorce 2 weeks ago. Quietly. My lawyer has everything. Bank statements. Messages. Videos. It's over, Mendeecees. You can keep the girls you've been chasing. I'm keeping my dignity, my kids, and my peace. Mendeecees staggered back like he'd been hit. You filed? Without telling me? Yandy looked at him cold. You've been living a double life without telling me. So yeah, I filed, and I'm not contesting nothing. You want out? You got it. Tamar stood up slow. Yandy, I didn't know it was this deep. I thought y'all was already having problems. I never meant to. Yandy cut her off. Save it. You got what you wanted. Attention. Drama. A storyline. Congratulations. You won the reunion. But you didn't win him. Nobody wins him. He's a walking red flag. The audience started clapping slow at first, then louder. Standing ovation for Yandy. She didn't smile. Just nodded once, then walked off stage again. This time nobody tried to stop her. Mendeecees sat back down heavy. Head in his hands. Tamar looked at him. You really let it get this far? He didn't answer. Scrappy shook his head. Bro, you fucked up your whole life in one night. On camera. The host wrapped the segment. We're out of time, but this changes everything. Yandy's walking away. Mendeecees, you got a lot to answer for. Tamar, you in the middle of it all. When we come back after this break, we hear from the rest of the cast. And we got one more surprise. Stay with us. Social media exploded harder than ever. Hashtag Yandy divorce trending worldwide. Fans posting support messages by the thousands. Yandy, you deserve better, queen, protect Yandy at all costs. Some still defending Mendeecees, saying, men make mistakes, but most were Team Yandy. Blogs already had headlines ready. Love and Hip Hop reunion ends marriages, Yandy files for divorce after Mendeecees' triple confession. Backstage, Yandy was on the phone with her lawyer. Push the papers through. No alimony fights. I just want full custody in the house. He can keep whatever else he wants. She hung up and looked at her reflection. For the first time in years she looked free. Hurt, but free. Mendeecees was alone in his dressing room staring at his wedding ring. He slipped it off slow and set it on the table. Tears finally came. Not for the cameras. Just for him. Tamar posted another story. This one a selfie. No caption. Just her eyes looking straight into the camera. Almost sad. Almost sorry. But not quite. The reunion still had one segment left. And nobody knew what bomb was dropping next. But one thing was clear. Nothing would ever be the same for any of them. The family was shattered. The friendships cracked. And the fans? They were eating it up while the people on stage bled real blood. The cameras rolled again. The host looked serious. Welcome back. Yandy's gone for the night. But Mendeecees, Tamar, the cast, we still got questions. And we got one last piece of evidence that might change how you all see this entire situation. The screen flickered. And what came next, nobody saw coming. The screen flickered back on and the host's voice came through low and serious. Alright everybody, we're back for the final segment of this reunion, and trust me, you're not ready for what's coming. The camera panned slow across the stage. Mendeecees still had his head in his hands. Tamar was staring straight ahead like she was trying to figure out how deep the hole she'd dug actually was. Scrappy and Erica looked exhausted just from watching. The empty chair where Yandy had been sitting felt like a ghost. The host held up another folder. We told you we had one more surprise. This one came in literally an hour ago. From Yandy's team. It's audio. Recorded 2 months ago. Private conversation between Mendeecees and someone else. The lights dimmed a little more. The big screen showed a simple waveform. Then the audio started. Mendeecees' voice first. Clear. No background noise. Yo, I'm telling you, man, Yandy been acting different. She knows something. I think she got somebody watching me. Another voice. Male. Deeper. Unfamiliar. You paranoid bro. She ain't got proof. Just keep denying. She'll get tired of asking. Mendeecees laughed dry. Nah, she too smart. But even if she find out, what she gon' do? Leave? Take the kids? She built everything around me. She ain't going nowhere. The other guy chuckled. Famous last words, my nigga. Famous last words. The audio cut. Dead silence on stage. Mendeecees lifted his head slow. His face was ashen. Where y'all get that from? The host didn't answer right away. Just let it sink in. Then he said, Yandy had her phone recording in the house. She told us she started doing it after she found suspicious charges on the joint account. Hotel rooms, gifts, flowers she never received. She wasn't trying to trap you, Mendeecees. She was trying to protect herself. Tamar turned to Mendeecees slow. You really said that? She ain't going nowhere? You thought she was trapped? Mendeecees shook his head fast. That was just talk. I was venting to my boy. I didn't mean it like that. Scrappy snorted loud. Venting? Bro, you sounded confident as hell. Like you had her on lock. That's cold. Erica couldn't hold it in anymore. Mendeecees, you really sat here all night acting remorseful, but deep down you thought she wouldn't leave? You thought you could keep cheating and she'd just stay because of the brand? The kids? The money? Mendeecees tried to speak, but his voice cracked. I was wrong. I know that now. Seeing her walk off tonight, I realized how bad I fucked up. The host kept going. There's more to the audio. He hit play again. Mendeecees' voice continued. Tamar's starting to get clingy too. Texting all day, wanting to meet up more. I told her it's just fun, but she acting like we in a relationship. Tamar's jaw dropped. She stared at the screen like it had slapped her. You said what? Mendeecees winced. I was venting again. I didn't mean. Tamar stood up so fast her chair scraped loud. Nah. Don't do that. You told me you was unhappy. You told me you was thinking about leaving. You made me think this was deeper than it was. And now I hear you calling me clingy? To your homeboy? Like I'm some groupie? Her voice shook with real hurt for the first time all night. Not anger. Hurt. Mendeecees looked at her pleading. Tamar, it wasn't like that. I cared about you. I still do. But I was confused. I was trying to keep everything separate. Tamar laughed, but it came out choked. Separate? You had me. You had Kiki. You had Lexi. And Yandy at home waiting like a fool. You wasn't confused, Mendeecees. You was greedy. The audience was roaring now. Some chanting, Yandy, Yandy. Others booing Mendeecees so loud the mics distorted. The host raised his hands. Let's bring it home. Mendeecees, final words. What do you say to Yandy? To Tamar? To your kids watching this somewhere? Mendeecees stood up slow. He looked directly into the camera. Eyes red, voice low. Yandy, baby, I know I broke us. I know I lied. I know I hurt you in ways I can't even fix. But I love you. I love our family. If there's any chance, any small piece left, I'll do whatever it takes. Counseling, therapy, no more phones, no more secrets. I'll prove it. And to my kids, Daddy sorry. Daddy messed up bad, but Daddy's still here. I ain't going nowhere unless you tell me to. He turned to Tamar. Tamar, I used you. I see that now. I made you think it was more because I needed it to be more in my head. That wasn't fair. I'm sorry for dragging you into my mess. Tamar didn't respond, just stared at him with glassy eyes. Then she spoke quiet. You didn't drag me. I walked in with my eyes open. But yeah, you played me too. Lesson learned. The host looked around. Tamar, anything else? She took a breath. Yandy, wherever you at, I'm sorry. Not just for the cheating. For the disrespect. For smiling in your face while I was texting your man. I was wrong. I let my ego get in the way. I thought I was winning something. Turns out nobody won. Scrappy spoke up last. Man, this whole thing's sad. We family. Or we was. Mendeecees, you gotta own this. No more excuses. No more, I was lonely, grow up. And Yandy, if you watching, we love you girl. You strong. You gon' be alright. Erica nodded. Facts. And to the fans, this ain't just drama. This real life. Marriages breaking. Kids hurting. Think about that before you meme it. The host wrapped it. Season 13 has been unlike any other. Betrayals. Confessions. A marriage hanging by a thread. Yandy walked away tonight with her head high. Mendeecees, left with regrets. Tamar, left with lessons. We don't know what happens next. But one thing's for sure, love and hip-hop will never be the same. The cameras started pulling back. Mendeecees sat down alone. Tamar gathered her things slow. The cast hugged each other quick. Awkward. Emotional. The screen faded to the reunion logo with dramatic music swelling. But backstage the real aftermath was just starting. Yandy was already in a black SUV heading to the airport. Phone off. Tears dried. She texted her lawyer one last time. Make sure the kids don't see any more tonight. I'll be home by morning. Then she stared out the window at the city lights blurring past. For the first time in years, she breathed easy. Mendeecees stayed in his dressing room long after everyone left, staring at the empty stage on the monitor, replaying Yandy's last words. I'm done. He pulled out his phone, scrolled to her contact, thumb hovered over call, but he didn't press it. Instead he opened his notes app, started typing. Dear Yandy, I don't expect forgiveness, but let me start making this right. Day 1. Tamar slipped out a side exit. Paparazzi waiting but she waved them off. Got in her car, turned on some old Mary J. Blige. No more drama, playing low. She whispered to herself. Never again. The internet kept burning. Reaction videos popping up every minute. Podcasts already booking guests. Blogs predicting custody battles. But on that stage, the lights went dark. The season ended, and whatever came next, it would be off camera. Raw, real, and nobody knew who would survive it. The reunion credits rolled, but the story? That was just beginning. Fans everywhere hit refresh waiting for the next move. Because in this world, drama never really ends. It just waits for the next episode. The reunion credits had barely finished rolling when the after-show special kicked in. No commercial break, no warning, just straight back to the stage like the producers knew nobody was changing the channel. The lights were dimmer now, more intimate, almost confessional. Only Mendeecees, Tamar, Scrappy, and Erica were left sitting in a loose circle. Yandy's chair was gone completely, like they'd removed it on purpose to remind everybody she wasn't coming back tonight. The host stood in the middle, mic in hand, looking like he hadn't slept in days. Welcome to the after-party, he said quiet. No audience, no script, just real talk. Mendeecees, you just watched your wife walk out on national television. Tamar, you just heard yourself called clingy on a secret recording. What happens now? Mendeecees didn't answer right away. He kept staring at the floor where Yandy's heels had clicked away earlier. Finally he spoke, voice rough. I'm going home. Not to our house, not tonight. I booked a hotel. I need to give her space. But I'm calling my kids in the morning. Infinity texted me during the break. She said, Daddy, why you on TV saying bad things? His voice cracked hard. That shit broke me more than anything, Yandy said. Tamar leaned forward, elbows on knees. You should have thought about that before you opened your mouth tonight. Before you opened your mouth 2 years ago. She wasn't yelling anymore, just tired. I'm not even mad at Yandy. I'm mad at myself for believing your lies. You had me thinking we had something real. Something worth the drama. Turns out I was just entertainment. Scrappy cut in. Both of y'all foul. Mendeecees for cheating. Tamar for knowing and still going along. But Mendeecees, bro, you the one with the ring. You the one with the family. You supposed to protect that. Not blow it up for ego. Erica nodded slow. And Tamar, girl, you my friend, but you knew better. You been through your own public heartbreak. You know how it feels. Why add to somebody else's pain? Tamar looked at her. Because I was selfish. Because I was lonely too. Because when he called me at 2 a.m. saying he needed me, I felt wanted. For once. Not just for my voice or my looks. For me. The host let the silence sit for a second. Then he dropped the last bomb of the night. We got one more thing. This came straight from Yandy about 30 minutes ago. She recorded a video message. She said play it whenever Mendeecees was ready to hear it. We're playing it now. The big screen lit up. Yandy's face filled it. No makeup, hair pulled back simple, sitting in what looked like an airport lounge. Her eyes were clear but red-rimmed. She spoke straight to camera. Mendeecees, if you watching this, I'm already on a plane. I'm going home to our babies. They need me more than they need this circus. I'm not doing this for likes or for the show. I'm doing it because I deserve peace. You took that from me for years. You made me question my worth, my instincts, everything. But tonight you gave me clarity. I'm not angry anymore. I'm just done. The divorce papers are filed. I'm asking for full custody. The house, the cars, everything in my name stays mine. You can fight it if you want. But know this, I got everything documented. Every text, every hotel receipt, every lie. So if you drag this out, it only hurts the kids more. Don't do that to them. Be the father they need, not the man you've been. To Tamar, I don't hate you, I pity you. You thought you were winning. But you got played just like I did. Heal from that, and stay away from my family. To the fans, thank you for the love. I see y'all, I feel y'all, but right now, I need to focus on me and my children. No more cameras, no more drama, just us. Goodbye. The video ended, the screen went black, Mendeecees didn't move, tears streamed down his face silent. No dramatic sobs, just quiet breaking. Tamar wiped her own eyes quick like she didn't want anybody to see. Scrappy put a hand on Mendeecees' shoulder. Man, go home, call your lawyer, but most important, call your kids. Tell them the truth, no sugarcoating, they deserve that. Erica looked at Tamar. You okay? Tamar shrugged weak. No, but I will be, I always am. She stood up slow. I'm out, I can't sit here anymore. She walked off without looking back. Heels echoing in the empty studio. Mendeecees stayed seated a long time after. The host finally said soft, we're wrapping. But Mendeecees, anything left to say? Mendeecees looked up into camera one last time. Yandy, if you ever see this, I'm sorry. Not just for tonight, for all of it. I'm getting help, real help, not for the show, for me. So one day, maybe, I can be the man you and the kids deserved. I love you, always will, even if you never speak to me again. The host nodded. That's it for season 13. What a ride, what a wreck. Thank you for watching. Good night. The feed cut to black. No fancy outro music, no teaser for next season. Just silence. But the internet didn't sleep. Within minutes, clips of Yandy's video were everywhere. Twitter timelines flooded with support. Yandy said what needed to be said, Queen walking away with everything, protect black women at all costs. Mendeecees' name was being dragged in every direction. Some fans still defending him saying, everybody makes mistakes, but the majority had turned. Hashtags like hashtag Team Yandy and hashtag Mendeecees over were battling it out. Tamar's mentions were a war zone too. Half calling her homewrecker, half saying she was used just like Yandy. By morning Yandy landed back in New York. Paparazzi at the airport, but she kept her head down, security tight around her and the kids who'd been brought to meet her. Infinity ran into her arms crying. Omari held back a little, eyes big. Yandy knelt down. Mommy's home, and Mommy's staying home. No more TV for a while, okay? They nodded. She hugged them both so tight like she'd never let go. Mendeecees checked into a quiet hotel upstate. No cameras, no entourage, just him and his thoughts. He called his mom first. Cried like a baby. Then he called the kids. Infinity answered. Daddy? He swallowed hard. Hey princess. Daddy's sorry. Daddy did bad things. But Daddy loves you so much. Can I talk to you every day? She was quiet a second. Okay, but you have to promise not to make Mommy cry anymore. He promised, even though he knew it might be too late. Tamar went radio silent. No posts, no stories, just her and her thoughts. Friends said she was at home writing music. Angry music, healing music, the kind that goes platinum. Weeks turned into months. The reunion became legendary. Clips still got millions of views. Blogs wrote think pieces. Podcasts dissected every word. Fans created edits of Yandy's walk-off set to empowering songs. Mendeecees started therapy. Public, humble, posting once a month about growth and accountability. Yandy launched a new production company. All women, all black-owned, no reality TV, scripted dramas, real stories. She smiled in pictures again. Real smiles. And somewhere in the middle of all that chaos, the family that was broken started figuring out how to co-parent. Not perfect, not back together, but civil, for the kids. Because at the end of the day, that's what mattered most. Season 13 ended in fire. But out of the ashes, 3 people started rebuilding. Separate, stronger, and maybe, just maybe, one day they'd look back and realize the explosion was exactly what they all needed to finally be free. The end. For now. The months after the reunion turned into something nobody saw coming, not even the producers who'd milked every tear and scream for ratings. Yandy disappeared from the spotlight completely for the first 3 months. No interviews, no social media, just radio silence while the blogs speculated she was either plotting the ultimate revenge or falling apart behind closed doors. Turns out she was doing neither. She was healing, quietly, fiercely. She moved the kids to a bigger house upstate. More land, more privacy. Infinity started horseback riding lessons. Omari got into coding camp. Yandy herself went back to school, quietly enrolled in an online business law program. She told close friends, I spent years building other people's empires. Now I'm building mine, for real this time. Her new production company, Queen Vision Media, dropped its first project 6 months later, a scripted limited series about black women entrepreneurs navigating love, betrayal, and power. Critics called it raw and unapologetic. Viewers called it Yandy's glow-up revenge. It hit #1 on streaming the first week. Mendeecees didn't fight the divorce. He signed the papers without dragging it out. Full custody to Yandy. He kept some assets but gave up the family home without a word. He started a small mentorship program for young men coming home from prison, real work, no cameras. He posted about it sparingly. Captions like, "Learning to be better starts with owning what you broke." Fans were split. Some called it damage control. Others said at least he was trying. The kids saw him every other weekend. Supervised at first, then unsupervised when Infinity asked, "Can Daddy come to my recital without the security people?" Yandy agreed. Mendeecees showed up early. Flowers for Infinity. New sneakers for Omare. He sat in the back row. Didn't try to take pictures for the gram. Just watched. Cried quiet when Infinity nailed her solo. After, he hugged them both long. Yandy stood off to the side. Arms crossed. But she didn't stop him from staying for ice cream afterward. Small steps. Glacial. But steps. Tamar went the opposite direction. She leaned all the way in. Dropped an album 3 months after the reunion called, "No Apologies." Lead single. Caught in the middle. Lyrics like, "He said forever but forever got a timestamp, I was the side dish while she was the main, but I still ate good till the plate got snatched away." It went viral. Platinum in weeks. She toured arenas. Sold out shows. Every night she closed with the same speech, "I messed up. I owned it. Now I'm moving forward. Y'all should too." Crowds roared. Some nights Yandy fans booed from the back. Most nights they didn't. She'd earned a different kind of respect, messy, flawed, but honest. The three of them crossed paths once. Award show. Red carpet. Yandy arrived first. Black gown. Diamonds. Head high. Tamar next. Red leather. Bold lipstick. No fear. Mendeecees last. Simple black suit. No entourage. Cameras caught the moment they all ended up in the same hallway backstage. Security tensed. But nobody lunged. Yandy looked at Tamar. Long. Then said quiet, "Album's fire." "Congrats." Tamar blinked. Then smiled small. "Your show too." Watched the whole thing in one night. Mendeecees stood there awkward. Yandy glanced at him. "Kids said you took them to the zoo last weekend. They had fun." "Thank you." He nodded. "Always." That was it. No hugs. No shade. Just acknowledgement. Then they walked separate ways. Fans dissected the clip for weeks. Did Yandy just forgive? Nah, that was classy shade. Mendeecees looked like he aged 10 years. But the truth was simpler. They weren't friends. They probably never would be. But the hate had burned out. What was left was exhaustion. And a quiet understanding that everybody had lost something that night on stage. A year later, the reunion got nominated for Most Explosive Moment in Reality TV History at some awards show. They didn't attend. None of them. Yandy sent a pre-recorded message, grateful for the platform. More grateful I walked away from it. Tamar posted a clip of herself laughing with friends watching the nomination reel. Caption. "Still can't believe we did that. Still wouldn't change owning my part." Mendeecees didn't comment. He was in therapy that day. Infinity turned 10. Yandy threw a small party. No influencers. Just family. Friends. Cake with extra icing. Mendeecees came. Brought a guitar. Played Happy Birthday soft while everybody sang. Yandy filmed it on her phone. Posted one frame to her private story, only close friends could see. Infinity blowing out candles. Mendeecees in the background smiling real. No caption. Just the picture. That night after the kids went to bed, Yandy sat on the porch with a glass of wine. Looked up at the stars. Whispered to nobody, "We made it through." Somewhere across the state Mendeecees was doing the same. Different porch. Same sky. Tamar was on a tour bus rolling through the south. Headphones in. Writing lyrics about second chances. All three of them breathing easier than they had in years. The reunion had torn everything apart. But sometimes you have to break something completely before you can build it better. Stronger. Separate. But whole. And in the quiet after the storm, they all started living again. Not together. Not the same. But living. And for right now, that was enough. The end. For real this time. The dust finally settled on season 13 like smoke after a wildfire. What started as one explosive confession on that reunion stage ended up reshaping lives in ways no producer could have scripted. Yandy didn't just survive, she thrived. Queen Vision Media became the quiet powerhouse nobody saw coming, greenlighting stories that actually mattered. She walked red carpets alone now, chin up, smiling the kind of smile that said, "I rebuilt myself from the wreckage you left." The kids grew taller, happier, untouched by the headlines. Infinity started writing her own little songs. Omare built his first app. Yandy framed their successes on the wall right next to her Emmys. No pictures of Mendeecees. Not anymore. Mendeecees kept his word. Therapy twice a week. No more late-night texts. No more side trips. He showed up for every school event, every birthday, every holiday the custody agreement allowed. He didn't beg for forgiveness in public anymore. He just did the work. Quiet, consistent, the kind of redemption that doesn't need a soundtrack. Fans still argued in comments, some called him reformed, others said once a cheater always a cheater, but he stopped reading them. He started living for his kids instead of the likes. Tamar turned pain into platinum. No apologies, wasn't just an album, it was a movement. Women blasted it in cars, in gyms, in moments of reclaiming power. She headlined festivals, started a foundation for single mothers navigating co-parenting after betrayal. She never said Yandy's name again on record. Never had to. The music spoke for her. And when interviewers asked about the reunion now, she just smiled small and said, that was a chapter. This is the book. The three of them never became friends. They never double dated or posted throwback Thursdays. But the hate faded into something neutral. Something that allowed birthday texts. School pickup handoffs without tension. A shared Google Calendar for the kids' schedules. Small mercies in the aftermath of chaos. The reunion clip still circulates. Every few months it resurfaces, Twitter threads, TikTok stitches, Instagram reels, and the comments flood in all over again. New fans discover it like it's fresh tea. Old fans relive the shock. But the people at the center? They moved on. Not perfectly, not without scars, but forward. Because sometimes the biggest plot twist isn't the betrayal. It's what happens after. When the cameras stop rolling. When the hashtags die down. When you wake up one morning and realize the pain isn't the loudest thing in the room anymore. You survived the explosion. Now you're living in the quiet that came after. And damn, that quiet feels like freedom. Yo, if you made it all the way through this wild ride with me, smash that like button right now. This story was messy, it was raw, it was everything love and hip-hop promised and more. If you're still here breathing heavy from all the twists, drop a comment below. Team Yandy forever? Team Tamar unapologetic? Are you still low-key rooting for Mendeecees to pull it together? Tell me where you stand. Be honest. No judgment in these comments. And if you want more tea like this, fabricated, dramatic, over-the-top reality breakdowns that hit different, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Next season's already cooking in my head and trust me, it's gonna be even crazier. Share this with your group chat. Let them feel the same roller coaster we just rode. And until the next bomb drops, stay messy, stay watching, but most importantly, stay real. Peace.